Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington Commanders update, and I am your host, Candy Seawall Waller, checking in as now I am doing a bit more often to give you all the latest and greatest information in a recap of now what we are in the off-season workout kind of phases here in OTAs. This is your day one recap of OTA practice. I am sure you all are ready to hop right on in to what I would like to call some exclusive insights from inside OTAs day one. It was a rainy day. I'm sure you've seen the posts, the videos, the other recaps. And yes, it was a rainy day. And I would say an unexpected rainy day, at least that early in the day. I thought it wasn't going to rain until after 3 p.m. Nonetheless, practice still happened in Ashburn, Virginia. And yes, you all, as I shared with you in with the rookie mini camp recap, there was a football practice in Ashburn, Virginia, and yes, again, it was a football practice in Ashburn, Virginia. Let's hop right on into it with some of the news from the day. Rookie defensive tackle Johnny Newton underwent surgery, his procedure on his foot. Things went well. As Dan Quinn shared with the media on Saturday, hey, better it happening now instead of August and September. So here's to a speedy recovery for Johnny and hoping things all go well in his recovery process. Right at the top of practice, it was announced that quarterback Jake Fromm was released. I know I saw some comments online. Some folks forgot that Jake Fromm was on the team. Yes, he was, but he's now released. So now they're down to 4 quarterbacks in their quarterback room. Let's see what. Wide receiver, former Dallas Cowboy Martavis Bryant will be working out with the team on Wednesday. So more to come on that. Let's see what else here. Let's go ahead and get into this. Why don't we? Tressway, everybody's favorite commander, at least one of the favorites, I'm sure, and probably a league favorite after he gave his number 5 jersey to rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. We know that Tress has still not made a decision just yet, but he was rocking the number 10 at practice. So more to come on that, on what Tress's new number is. So we'll be tracking that, of course, to see what he decides upon. So let's go ahead and get right on into practice. If you all see me looking down, it is because I have quite a few notes. So let's get on into it. You know, I like to take you through the journey of practice. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with Dan Quinn's press conference. Here's some of the highlights for me that I want to point out to you all.
The energy of bringing everybody together, all as one group. We're here for the veteran camp. You saw some of the rookie camp. So to see that part come together, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see some of the mentoring from, veterans to some rookies. I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the rookies latch on to some. I think that's a two-way street. But all in all, it's a big passing emphasis as we go today, but we'll work some situations, and we're ready to get rocking. So with all that said, glad to open up to you guys to hit some questions as we're getting started.
Hey, Dan, in terms of, obviously, we kind of get the gist of OTAs, but for the team as a whole, what's your kind of goal when you get through these 3 weeks for what you want to see, what kind of progress?
Yeah, and I think number one, big playbook, obviously, to put in, and then little bits of it as you're going. And so, did some at veteran camp, did some with the rookies, and so this is an extension of that. In addition to, I don't think it's ever too early, Ben, to start on some situations. Here's a 2-minute at the half. Here's all the ones that come up. So we'll do that as often as we can. By nature, the OTA is more of a passing camp, and that's where the emphasis will be. And then in training camp, there'll be some shifting on that. But looking for efficiency, I'm looking for speed, and really just the detail that's going into the calls.
I've seen many of you comment on really enjoying head coach Dan Quinn's press conferences, and I really enjoyed the way that he just described fully to Ben Standig's question what he's expecting, what's going to be happening at this point in time during the training and OTAs. Here's what I also wanted to mention: the part about the mentorship. Now, this will be a recurring theme that you all will hear. I'll get into some more highlights of the day in a moment, and you'll see what I'm talking about and hear what I'm talking about. This has been a thing where in real time, the coaches and the players alike are providing each other with feedback. I think that is a very, very important point about the feedback in real time, how they can be doing things better, how they can continue to do things that they did well. Do that again, do it 100 more times. You're seeing those interactions, you're seeing that engagement, and it is quite cool to see. Something else that was quite cool to see. You already heard about it in rookie camp, right? Bags, how they start practice, how they get energized for the day. I was anxious in seeing, okay, we saw the energy with just the rookies. What is this going to look like when everybody gets together? And here's what it looked like. I mean, who would not be ready to practice after that? Okay. Now, full disclosure: transparency and authenticity is paramount here when you're catching the coacher from the couch on Bowie TV. Okay. It's always paramount what we're going to do here. When it started raining steadily, your girl Seawall had to make a dash. I had to go. I said, all right, I'm going to go get an umbrella and or a poncho. I'm sure there's a poncho out here somewhere for me. And I found one because I typically try to take all those things with me. So in full disclosure, I did not witness that with my own eyes this go around. But I can tell you all this: I heard it. I heard it. And I said, wow, they're doing bags right now. Interesting that I can hear them from all the way up here. Good stuff, folks. Good stuff. Good stuff. Now, let me get into one of you all's favorites, I believe, in just my observation. This guy here, Brian Robinson Jr. And I'm also going to mention rookie. Well, he's not a rookie anymore. Oh, my goodness. See, time is just flying. Chris Rodriguez Jr. These guys have been working out. They've been in the gym, evidently. It's abundantly clear to me. Just take a look at this video of B Rob in action. Definitely can see he's bulked up a bit, as has Chris Rodriguez Jr. Super anxious, of course, with the addition of Austin Eckler, to see how the running back room is utilized in this offense, and with an offensive line that seems definitely ready to go as they are getting to know one another and they're getting to gel. So wanted to give you all that observation right up front. All good things. You all know I start talking about coaches. Here's a coach I definitely want to highlight in my observations for the day one of OTAs recap. Check it out here, you guys. Ken Norton Jr. walking along with his linebacker core there, with some of his linebackers and defensive linemen, as you all can see there, doing some big plays in the 7-on-7s, which I'm going to go back to that in just a moment. He was showing his intensity and his just real-time feedback, his level of intensity, getting involved wanting to give his players feedback. I'm also going to mention defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. Definitely all up in the action when his guys were making plays, and even when they weren't, he was right there in it, engaged. We're going to talk a little bit more about the coaches in a minute. Now I'm going to go back to Dan Quinn's presser. So I'm backtracking here, going to Dan Quinn's presser because I want to definitely note the 7-on-7.
And just specifically at wide receiver, I think we kind of have a sense of what Terry McLaurin is, but with younger guys like Jahan and Diami, now Luke joining in, how do you kind of see that group, and what did you, with the two guys who were holdovers, what did you see from them last year?
Yeah, what's fun about this is we want to get as many reps as we can. So you may even see it 7-on-7 today. We'll have two fields going at the same time. And the purpose behind that in a 7-on-7 setting is to get more reps for everyone. And the more you see, the more that you go. And I think as you're installing a new system, that's an important piece of this, just time on task and reps of it. So, but you're right, guys like Terry, who you've seen, and the work ethic, what it is. So these are some cool moments to see what people can do. And then it's our job to find what special traits do they have and then see how we can feature them.
So exactly as head coach Dan Quinn described it, they had 7-on-7 going at the same time. So I made the decision to stand right in the middle, and I'm going to look here and look here, and it was a lot. I typically ended up just by default looking to my left, and as I'm looking at the field, so I'm looking to my left here, and so there were a lot of great things going on both sides, right? But the it was in both instances, the speed and the intensity were the same. So I said to myself, okay, in this moment, everybody's bringing the energy and doing what they're supposed to be doing, listening to their coaches, finishing plays, completing tackles. You will be able, or they can't fully tackle, but you know what I mean. So it's just completing plays, right? Which is in years past, we've heard not finishing a play, not finishing a tackle, those things. The expectations were still the same. Yes, there were two things going on at the same time, but the expectations were the same across the board for every player, for every coach. You're going to hear those things again. So let's get into some of these pressers. I want to go into a highlight from veteran tight end Zach Ertz, his press conference.
Is there something different about this one?
I mean, there's many layers, obviously. I don't know if I want to dive into all of them, but I think the ownership that he's putting on the players, Coach Quinn is putting on the players to really mold this to our image and how we want this thing to go. It's really going to be something that the players are able to hold each other, I would say, accountable to. The standards are very clear. And also the energy. Every coach. It's not just one coach bringing juice. All the coaches have it. It's almost like a prereq. Every morning they have their little staff meeting and say, how much energy are we going to bring today? So it's been fun. It's been really fun to be a part of. And just the guys that they've brought in as well. Really good people first, and obviously really good football players.
So
If you all have watched the Culture from the Couch series and tuned into Bowie Television in the past, you know that I'm big on the role that the coaches play in setting the tone and really building that accountability, that leadership. What does it look like? If you're new to Bowie TV, hey guys, welcome. So glad you're here. You're going to hear me say that a lot. And I can tell you, observations, that's exactly what's happening. You've heard me mention now Coach Kingsbury. You've heard me mention just today Ken Norton Jr., Coach Joe Witt Jr. You saw it in the bags video, right? And how everybody, the players are getting all like Zach Ertz called it. They're getting their juice. They're getting juiced up. The coaches are involved with it too. They really set that tone. And one thing that offensive coordinator Coach Cliff Kingsbury said in his presser was that DQ is preaching competition. He's preaching intensity, and that's from every single individual so that they collectively come together with that energy and intensity. Trust me, if you're there, you would feel it. I hope you feel it through the videos because trust me, it's there. And to know that it's there in May, it's promising good things. Now, I want to give some highlights. Wide receiver Jahan Dotson, offensive lineman Sam Cosmi, who I like to call they're some of the truth tellers. Not that anybody doesn't tell the truth. I'm not saying that. But if you want to get the message straight, if you want to hear it direct, just straight up, very simple communication, straight up, these two players are going to give it to you straight each and every time. So let's check out the highlights from Jahan Dotson's presser.
Impressions of being around this new group, new teammates, but new coaching staff in particular?
Yeah, it's been fun. Getting to know all my new teammates, new staff members. The building looks a lot different now. So being able to get to know them in these early weeks of OTAs has been really fun.
Was that energy, was there just a different energy, and how badly was that needed?
Yeah, it has been a completely different energy from the second we kind of walked into the first team meeting. Coach Quinn really emphasized that, we're really a team. We got to come together as soon as possible so we can make things happen when the games roll around in the regular season. So it's been really good energy, really good vibes around the building, and it's really exciting times.
And for first impressions of Jaden?
Oh yeah, he's great. I don't know if I can say this, but that's the quarterback that I wanted. But yeah, I was happy when we drafted him. I'm really looking forward to building a relationship with him, furthering our relationship as I've known him in the past. But he's been good so far. He's only been here a couple days now, but yeah, he has big things coming for him. So I've known him since I was coming out in the draft. We were training together before he transferred to LSU when we were down in Arizona. So we built a little relationship there. And then, yeah, I kept up with him while he was at LSU. Obviously, he was the best player in college football last year. So, yeah, it was really cool that we got to team up and go at it this year. He's really good. He makes us feel comfortable. That's a big thing, I would say, for myself, being able to feel comfortable in the routes that I'm able to run. He really helps us play to our strengths. That's really what you want in a coach, someone who knows your capability and what you can do on the field and tries to maximize it. And I feel like he does a great job of that.
So sometimes on the show, I do something called use your clues, right? When I say use your clues, that means use the things that people are sharing in press conferences and when they're sharing in interviews and say, hey, that sounds familiar. So Jahan Dotson shares that he too, or should I say he also trained at a time with Jaden Daniels. We heard that message from who else in the last few days? We heard it from rookie tight end Ben Sinnott. We heard it from rookie wide receiver Luke McCaffrey. And now we're hearing from Jahan Dotson that he has at a point in time has trained with Jaden Daniels. I thought that was an observation, and my ears definitely perked up to that, oh, they've already built a relationship. They're familiar with one another. That's good to know. And hey, again, going back to truth tellers, I don't know if you could have said it either, Jahan, but hey, that's your truth. That's the quarterback that you wanted. Very good. So moving on to another player that's going to give it to you straight. Sam Cosmi.
I would say just everybody's so driven for success. Our mindset is to be champions, and I think to emphasize that weight more, and that's what we're doing. Building a standard here. That's what we've been focusing on. A standard when we're on the field or off the field that we can hold each other accountable each and every day. Hey, man, I see you need to finish that block, or you need to wrap up and finish that tackle, or do this technique, or do that. Being a cowboy, we want to do, hey, pick up your stuff, pick up your trash. That little things around building are huge. So if we can hold to that standard, that's the standard we're building right now, it'll be huge.
How do you feel about just the group you guys have together up front? I know there's been a number of changes there. How do you feel about the new guys coming in, just the depth you guys have, et cetera?
Yeah, we brought in a couple of really good guys. We all gel really well together. So, I was telling the guys today, it's like a mushroom society. We grow in the darkness. So we're just growing this, bond and everything like that together, and I'm loving it. And like I said, we brought in a really, really top tier guys.
You know, these OTAs are technically voluntary, right? The vets don't have to be here, but everybody's here competing, putting in the work. What does that show in the long run?
You know, it just shows people are bought in. You know, it's a whole new coaching staff and everything's new and new playbook on both sides. So, you know, it's important to be around the guys and build those relationships, and not only with the players but the coaches as well. You know that's one thing I really look forward to, is that we have a open communications player to coach, which I think is huge. You know, we're all here trying to work towards the same goal, which is winning. And so if we were able to communicate across the building, not only offensively but defensively, like today, for example, I'm in my three-point stance and I'm pulling, and Bobby Wagner goes, "Hey, watch his pulling." I'm like, "What the heck?" You know, like, how did the heck? I was trying to disguise that, and I went up to him, "Hey, what'd you see?" "You were leaning." You know, stuff like that. It's great. So little things like that. So yeah, that's things that I'm noticing and enjoying.
Now, let me just say this. Sam Cosmi may have said that it was little things like that in regards to the example that he gave of Bobby Wagner giving him, or he being able to hear Bobby Wagner share with his defensive teammates, watch his pull. How do you know that? I was trying to disguise it. Hey, maybe a little thing to you, Sam, but that was a big thing to me. That's why I'm sharing it here with the exclusive insights. Hey, look, that level of detail, player to player, right? That goes back to, yes, the coach is setting the tone and the coach is giving feedback. But now you have a veteran in the room, a veteran who's been down this road, who's done it a multitude of times, has played, against the most elite of offenses, right, over these last few years. And he's going to call you on it. And kudos to Sam Cosmi for going to him and saying, "What did you see?" And then being able to work through that in real time. Those are the types of insights, and those are the types of things that I know I'm looking at when I'm out there, because it's May. And what they're doing now together is going to transcend. It's going to continue. Let's all hope, right? But again, accountability, even to the point of pick up your trash in the building. So this isn't just what's happening on the field. It's also happening off the field. The championship mindset. I'm going to go back to something that Jahan said as well, which was maximizing their strengths. And offensive coordinator Coach Kingsbury's first presser, I asked about that, about how he was going to approach the offense. And he said, we're going to maximize their strengths. That is something that they're all saying. It's something that the players are feeling. Jahan mentioned being more comfortable. These are the things that I'm picking up on. And I'm hearing their words, and then I'm seeing their actions, and I'm saying, okay, it's aligning in that way. You all, I think the next time, as of right now, because dates can change, the next time that the media is able to come out to watch OTAs is on Wednesday, May 22nd. Wednesday, May 22nd, all right? So if the date may change, but right now, that is the day. Also, but before that, don't we have an NFL schedule release this week? So we'll definitely have to connect with you all to go through the Commander schedule, depending on what it may be. So we sincerely hope you all enjoyed this episode of the Washington Commanders Update, giving you exclusive insights on day one of OTAs. This is Bowie Television. I am your host, Candy C. Waller, and I'll be seeing you guys again soon.